This episode of the Totally Rad Show is brought to you by Busted Tees. Today on TRS, we get out our iPads and check out some mobile iOS games.
Last week we did an episode talking about all the great Xbox Live Arcade and PlayStation Network games that have come out recently, and you guys seem to really like that as a big roundup of all those games. So we're going to do the same thing talking about mobile games today, because there's been some really wonderful iOS apps, and I know you've got the Windows 7 phone. Really great games that have been coming down the pike, and we haven't talked about mobile in quite a while. The game that I'd like to kick things off talking about is a game that had really blown me away on the iPad, and it's Super Brothers Sword and Sorcery. And as far as I'm concerned, I think it's the game that justifies the iPad as a gaming device. I feel like the way you play this game, which is ostensibly a point-and-click adventure game with some minor combat. It harkens back to me to a game called Hero Quest that Sierra did back in the day, which was sort of a point-and-click adventure, but it had fighting. Yeah. As does this, and it's got a wonderful throwback aesthetic to, it looks kind of like a mix between Pitfall and some other 8-bit game, but it's got a modern take on that 8-bit look as well.
It's like as if it would look like a Ico game, but it would look like a new game, a now-gen game, but it's pixelated. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, it's not old bit. Yeah. It's like it's like they took the new graphics. Animations are good, but it's pixelated. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's got a unique style all its own. I think that is the first thing that jumps out at you. But what I found to be so special about the game was that it uses all of the features of the iPad in a way that is no game I think has ever done, and really is unique to what makes the iPad special. And it makes me go, in the same way that, you know, Kirby's Canvas Curse was the first game on the DS that made me go, oh, the DS has some things that it does that nothing else can do. Right. So with Sword and Sorcery, where you're pointing and clicking, you're pinching to zoom out to get a better view, you're solving puzzles, yes, but you're also engaging in combat by rotating the iPad to take out your sword and shield, and then rotating back to put them away. It uses all of the unique features of the iPad in a way that makes it specific to the iPad. And I just had a great time.
Those are the types of games where I feel like when you're embracing, when it's a game clearly designed for the device, that's what we talk about with the best of the Wii games, or the Kinect games, or the PS3 Move games, and it's the same sort of thing that I had with the Shadow Era, which is another game that theoretically the best way to explain it is it's generic Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, it's another iPad game, right?
It's another iPad game, and it really.
I think we're all going to talk about iPad games.
Yeah. I mean, I love my I love my Windows 7 phone, but I'm still waiting for the killer Xbox Live Arcade games.
Integration game.
Well, they have a couple good ones. Zombies HD just came out. That's the board game, the zombie board game for the phone. It's also on Xbox Live, so you can actually play because it's a turn-based game. So you can play the turn-based games against people who are using an Xbox Live.
That's cool.
Arcade, like actually on the arcade. Those things are always fun, but I'm still waiting for that killer app where I'm like, oh, I just got the notification somebody played on their Xbox. Now I'm going to play my turn. I'm waiting for that game. It's coming. I can tell. I can feel my bones. But with Shadow Era, it's basically a generic version of Magic the Gathering, but man, does it really shine on the iPad. I mean, card management. iPad is the perfect way to do it. There's no sort of sliding over to the card that you want to choose and hitting X. You know what I mean? Yeah. The fact that you can actually play people online. Amazing. I mean, all this stuff is really bringing forth, and the design of the cards and the implementation was almost better than Magic in my opinion. There were times when I was like, dude, these cards are doing epic things. Now, I haven't played tons of Magic myself, you know what I mean, but enough to know this is a solid game and worth it. I think it's free, too.
It was free.
It was free.
Yeah.
Come on.
I think you can buy booster packs for money, like it starts
But you also buy booster packs with money that you earn or like currency or whatever that you
In the
earn
game,
in
yeah.
game. So when you win,
It's that
I can
freemium.
now get new cards. Like,
Yeah, it's that
from
freemium
playing.
thing where you can, I think, pay for the credits if you want, which is the.
You can pay to basically skip the line.
Yeah, which is
Yeah,
like.
I also
so
loved
smart.
both of these games, and the thing that you guys haven't mentioned about both of them is the music, and
Right.
both
Yeah.
of them is awesome. The music in Sword of Sorcery is like so, it reminds me of Lady Hawk. Because Lady Hawk had that modern synthy music,
Yeah.
but you're watching medieval shit, and like that's what this game is like,
Amazing.
and it creates such an awesome atmosphere. And Shadow Era too has a great score.
Yeah.
It's some of the music it plays isn't great, but there's a couple tracks I'm like, I love this track. I'm glad
You're
it's
like, my
playing
favorite
right
track
now.
I'm playing.
I love Shadow Era, and I think it's the perfect way in which I want to engage in a game like that.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to get each other motivated to come over to play Magic the Gathering, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to break out those cards. If we're gonna get together with the other games we might play or whatever, you know, or the cards, collecting them, and you know. But this on the iPad is wonderful. I love sliding the move. I mean, it all makes sense to do on the iPad. It's how I want to get. If I'm like watching TV and there's a commercial break, I'll pop up in Shadow and I'll play while something crappy's on. You know, like it's
Yeah.
exactly how I want to play that kind of game. The only thing that I regret about it, although it's free, is that it would be cool when you do crazy spells and stuff to see awesome animations happening.
Yeah.
You know, that would be cool, but it's
Yeah.
free. Now, the other thing I liked about Sword and Sorcery, which will bring me to my game, is that you mentioned the turning of the thing. It's such a great implementation in Super Brothers Sword and Sorcery because you don't have to do it every second.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a way in which I want to play these games where it's like there's some games where where it really uses the iPad,
Right.
but you're like turning it every.
Yeah,
It's like
Tilt to
well,
Live is a great example
yeah.
where it worked
Yeah.
great this size,
Yeah,
and
right.
I'm like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be awesome when I get it on the iPad.
I'm
and
doing
it's like,
this.
no, this size, I don't
Yeah.
want to be doing that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like you said,
At times.
punctuating
Yeah.
those moments
Yeah.
where it's like I'm making a decision to go into a new mode.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's a brilliant idea.
Totally. So separate from that is this game, Hunters HD, also free, but you can buy it and you get unlock more levels.
You have to buy it after a certain time
Oh,
period.
is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I haven't played it long enough, but.
And after a certain, you to get to past level 2 of your guys. Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
I have a couple guys made it to level 2, but not all of them. So maybe I need to. But anyway, so Hunters HD, you can probably describe it better than me because you
It's
know the
XCOM.
genre. It's XCOM.
It's
right?
it's a turn-based strategy game in space where you know it's basically Space Hulk. If you're familiar with Space Hulk, the board game or the video game version, it is. You know, you have a group of Space Marines. You can load them out however you like, give them weapons. You know, put in different kinds of armor. So heavier guys move slower, and bigger guys have farther they can, or lighter guys have farther they can move. And then you are given a objective, like kill the main bad guy or whatever, and you have turn-based strategy. You move them from point A to point B, tell them who to attack, where to go, which at first you feel like, well, it's like any other game. I'm just going to go at them and try to kill them.
Yeah.
There's a lot more strategy involved.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can get I didn't realize you could get
Your own way. Yeah. You send the light guy through the door first because he moves the fastest, and
Right.
all of a sudden he's the guy that dies.
Yeah.
Speaking of a game that is a kind of game that's in other iterations, but implemented on the iPad, this is exactly the way I want to engage in this type of game, and it's exactly the type of game that I want to play in this way.
Yeah.
Like, this is the game, because if it was real-time strategy, of which there are, it's constantly going, it's constantly moving, and it's like, oh, I'm just sitting down to play a video game. This is like, I can have with a team. I can be somewhat casual, but engage the way I want to be, where I can get really into it.
Well, the interface doesn't get in your way with the touching. You're not getting in your way where it's like, oh, there's stuff I need to see
That's
happening over there.
true.
Yeah.
It's,
True.
I have my own time. The
Yes.
turn-basedness of it, I think, helps it. And to be able to reach out and touch and say, that guy goes over here and
Right.
attacks that guy.
Totally.
Yeah, yeah.
And when you
Played
want to
too,
see
right?
more,
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah.
spin around, and it looks great
Yep.
when you want to zoom out. Like it all
Yeah.
works really well. And a leveling mechanic. It's like this is great. It can be
It's
ongoing and
it's
fun.
very rich for that. And I think the turn-based stuff is where I think you guys nailed it. I mean, the RTS stuff, you have to do so much stuff so fast. It's more of dexterity of your finger manipulation. Whereas with this, it's all about strategy, and then the finger manipulation, which is horrible, and I don't want to stop saying it, actually. It doesn't get in your way, as you said. It so makes sense as to how you would go. You go, that guy, I want over there. And he goes, over there! And it's like, that guy, I want to shoot that guy. And he shoots him.
And you get to sit there and think about what you want to do.
Exactly.
That's how I love that's what I love about this system of playing is like, I don't like freneticism on my little phone, and my fingers are getting in my way, and like it's uncomfortable, whatever. And I love puzzle solving because I get to think, but there's also like, it's not Enigma, you know, it's like, I'm a hunter and I'm shooting people, and like it's fun, you know?
Yeah.
Well, you know, been a big push also with board games coming to the iPad because it has all of those elements. It has the turn-basedness, it has the tactile, you want to touch it, reach out and touch it. I know there's tons of them, and all these board game designers, Werner Knizia, all these guys are like putting out all of their material.
I was going to ask, have you played any of those?
I played a lot of them.
So you're a big board game guy. You play a lot of, you mentioned Werner Knizia, famous board game designer, makes these obscure board games that we love.
You love obscure, but yes.
But obscure to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But so how do they stack up in iPad form? And could you play the iPad game if you had never even heard of, would you understand?
Well, I mean, even like really mainstream games like Settlers and Carcassonne and Small World are on the iPad, and they're great versions of them.
Yeah.
I miss the
tactile.
picking up cards.
in Magic and Shadow Era, I don't miss that.
But
the thing that's great, well, it is different.
Yeah.
But the thing that's great is they're so cheap compared to buying the $40 box or the
You could
even more.
ostensibly try it, fall in love with the mechanic, and then go, I want the thing. I want the physical thing.
And it's also a great way to play it by yourself.
I was going to ask you that. Have you played it with other?
To learn the game, like a Raw I'd never played before, and there's a number of them where it's a great way to learn it on your own and then buy it and play it with your friends. Well, we all like ours.
All right, everybody, remember to stick around for This Day in Rad History. First, our sponsors, Daniel Trachtenberg.
Right. Busted Tees, guys. Busted Tees makes T-shirts and sweatshirts and stuff that are hilarious and filled with reverence and irreverence for the things that we all grew up loving. Movies.
Reverent and irreverent all at the same time.
TV shows,
How can it
video
be
games,
flammable
movies.
and inflammable?
Parts are flammable.
Well, just so you know, they are flammable. It's all cloth. And the shirts, I mean, you've probably seen them in movies as well. They've infiltrated our society. I used to wear Busted Tees all the time. I mean, I still do, but I mean, I used to like only wear Busted Tees.
Yeah.
So
the Busted Tee phase.
head on over to bustedtees.com and type in the promo code RADSHOW when you check out to get 10% off your order.
Amazing. We will see you tomorrow.
Mañana.
Don't miss tomorrow when we review the TV show, The Killing.
Today is April 12th, and on this day in Rad history in 1961, Yuri Gagarin became the first human to travel into outer space in the Vostok 1, giving the Russians the impression that they were going to win the space race.
That's how we
USA! USA!
They literally were like, running like, look at those sorry what the hell was that? It's actually really interesting. There's a lot of fun stuff with the space race, like Sputnik, you know, they threw Sputnik up.
Yeah.
Sputnik was this big, massive satellite that had like all this technical superiority in it, and it circled the Earth like tons and tons of time. We then sent up our thing, which was the size of a basketball, and it flew around the Earth like 6 times and crashed. And we were like, we did it too! We had a satellite too!
Yeah.
But they never went on and were like, well, how big was your satellite? Yeah, ours was like that big, size of a baseball. Oh yeah, would you just throw it really hard? Yeah, pretty much. It only went around like 2 times. But hey man, we got there second.
Thank you at Eric Hewlin for sending that in, for inspiring us all to look to the stars.
Oh, fuck it, Eric.